This has spoilers for the entirety of the Steins Gate anime. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Ezra, I'm talking to you. Steins Gate is a show that will break you and the main character in more ways than one. The first 11 episodes will break your patience, but the next 15 episodes will break you emotionally. But feeling that means you truly understand the story, and you truly understand the arc of Okabe Rintaro. Steins Gate is a show that operates entirely on its characters. If you're not here to watch them, then too bad, because the action here is rare and laughable. The first 11 episodes of the show are entirely set up. We get to know who all the main characters are, we watch as Okabe and Kurisu develop time travel, and then practically everyone sends a D-mail. Bam! All it took was 4 hours, and now we're ready to watch episode 12. But genuinely, the first 11 episodes are a fantastic setup. This show is nothing if not for Okabe. His mad scientist persona that he uses to fully indulge himself and others endears us to him. And throughout the first 11 episodes, we watch as that persona begins to slip. In the first episode, his persona slips twice, both of them because of Kurisu. Her being dead, and then her being alive. Then, after episode 3, it becomes a much more common thing. Learning that people have died due to time travel gives Okabe a massive shock, and from here we see him have more personal moments with the entire cast, but mainly with Kurisu and Mayuri. This all comes to a head in episode 11. They have finished the phone wave, but to test it they need to guinea pig someone. Mayuri has stated how against it she is, in her own way. Kurisu is unaware and worried about her father's reaction, and with both of them in mind, Okabe decides to indefinitely halt testing, making the decision to go public with their findings. Mayuri and Kurisu are the two people Okabe cares about most, and the two people he can truly be himself around. Wow, I sure do hope nothing happens to either of these What? Oh, we're on episode 12? Mayuri dies, and now we begin the emotionally damaging portion of the show. Okabe tries over and over and over again to save Mayuri, but nothing changes and he watches her die countless times. These last 14 episodes constantly give Okabe hope, but then it's torn away from him in the last moments. The first of these small hopes is Suzuha. Her plan is to go back in time, find the IBN 5100, and change the world line. But before she can do that, Okabe makes it his mission to find her father. That would make this the 3rd or 4th episode where finding Suzuha's father has been a major plot point. Eventually, it's revealed that Daru is her father, and then Suzuha is sent off to the past. While Daru contemplates how he's going to treat his grandchildren, something much worse happens. Suzuha went to the past, but she completely forgot who she was and why she was there. After remembering, decades had already passed, and she believed she could do nothing more to help. So in her final message, she begs Okabe to let her leave earlier. The entire letter is genuinely heart-wrenching, but her repetition of "I failed" just makes your heart sink, and the final revelation that she killed herself is just indescribable, especially for the people who had been trying to help her for so long. Okabe is able to save Suzuha, but in doing so, she never finds her father, and even in this better world line, she became an old woman filled with regret, waiting to die alone. But now Okabe realizes what he needs to do. To save Mayuri, he has to destroy everyone else's dreams by undoing their D-mails. He takes away Ferris's father, changes Rukuko's gender, and then stops Mooka from taking the IBN and helping FB. But through all of this, he still has Kurisu. She helps him solve problems and is someone that genuinely understands his way of thinking. When he doesn't know what to do, he goes to her, even when they've had the same conversation 1,000 times. As Daru said, they are most assuredly tsundere, and that shows through. They act all uppity with each other, but in the end, they honestly do care. Wow, I sure do hope nothing happens to Maki Sekura. What? She died in episode 1? Deleting the original D-mail is going to send them back into the original world line in which she was dead? Oh, this is the best twist in the entire show because it's not a twist. If you're like Okabe, you just got caught up in getting to that 1% convergence point that you completely forgot what that meant. And having both the audience and the main character come to that realization at the same time is what makes it work so well. Since Okabe calls off the deletion in such an abrupt manner, he practically has to tell Kurisu what happened. Episode 22 focuses entirely on their relationship, and it's easily the best episode of the show. Side note, I love how all the best episodes of the show are the ones that make you go, oh my god, 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 because of how terrible they make you feel. And this episode makes you simultaneously feel the terriblest and the bestest. From the very beginning, Kurisu has made up her mind, and it's just a process of helping Okabe make up his. Okabe has been working to save Mayuri for who knows how long at this point, and he can finally save her, but to do so, he has to condemn someone he not only cares about, but loves. Kurisu grounds and understands Okabe like no one else can, and that is why they've grown so close together up to this point. When Okabe says that seeing Mayuri die won't break him, Kurisu understands how far he's truly gone and brings him back to reality. The rest of the episode is an emotional roller coaster. They make out, Kurisu leaves physically and metaphorically, and then Okabe commits to the otherworld line in which she dies. And then, Kurisu comes back and confesses her love as the world lines change. Okabe finally achieves what he's been attempting to do for 10 episodes, but in the process, he loses the one that he loves. This is not the choice of Steins Gate. Suzuha comes back and gives Okabe the chance to save Kurisu while simultaneously ending the threat of CERN and keeping Mayuri alive. It takes some convincing, but he does it, only for him to be the one that stabs and kills Kurisu, sending him on a downward emotional spiral, or at least it would if this were Steins Gate 0. The existence of an Okabe that lived years with the knowledge that he's the one that killed Kurisu is heartbreaking, and if you want to see that, go watch Steins Gate 0. But eventually, that Okabe uses his resources and is finally able to save himself, and by extension, Kurisu. Our Okabe finally realizes that he needs to push himself and become the mad scientist that takes control of time and destiny, returning to the nonsensical naming devices and classical hysteria. With one final commitment, Okabe is able to save Kurisu by literally shoving his hand into his chest. At long last, Okabe achieves Steins Gate, where he has stopped CERN from taking over the world, but more importantly, he can be with both of the people that he cares about. Okabe's journey throughout Steins Gate is what makes it one of the best anime of all time. We watch as he grows in relationships with others in the mad scientist persona, until one day his world comes entirely to a halt, and he spends an incalculable amount of time trying to save his friend. We then watch him claw his way back, fully becoming the mad scientist that he believed he was at the beginning of the show. But none of this would have been possible without Makise Kurisu by his side. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry this video was so delayed. I took a 2-week break for finals, and then I started filming a short film, which I'll post to the second channel soon. Also, yeah, I have a second channel now. I'm just going to be posting short films and other random stuff over there because I don't want to mess up this channel's stuff. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I have been your host, Silas Jackson. This has been Recency Bias, and I'll see you guys next week. Later.